Hi everybody, I'm Arthur from PromoTeam. Subsocial and its founder Alex Siman is our target. Get ready for the mind-blowing idea that already works in the Polkadot ecosystem. Subsocial is an open-source platform for decentralized social networks and marketplaces. Subsocial built with Substrate and IPFS. Subsocial functions as a set of substrate pallets with a web user interface that allows anyone to launch their own decentralized, censorship-resistant social network or community and integrate it into the uncensored blockchain. You can think of it as a decentralized version of Reddit or Medium, where a set of subreddits or blogs on Medium run on their chain. So what Subsocial can provide? Decentralized communities. Every community can be a separate substrate chain and connect with other organizations via a Polkadot-based relay chain. IPFS integration. Subsocial stores content of blogs and posts on IPFS plus a list of CIDs in substrate storage in a corresponding struct, blog, post, comments, or profile. Server-side rendering, search engines optimization. Search engine optimization is a crucial part of every media platform. That's why Subsocial supports a server-side rendering of such pages as blogs, posts, and comments. Find reputation in Polkadot ecosystem, not only Subsocial. By writing posts and commenting on others, users build their reputation on the Subsocial chain. It should be possible to share a reputation and transfer coins from one chain to another via the Polkadot relay chain. Today we welcome Alex, the founder of Subsocial. Hi Alex.
Hi Arthur.
My first question is, so what is Subsocial and why people should be interested in it?
Great question. Subsocial is a social networking protocol with built-in monetization methods. We call it social finance protocol for Polkadot. It means that people could create their own niche communities built on Polkadot and IPFS technologies and have built-in a variety of different monetization methods so they can monetize their content and community.
What are your relationships with Web3 Foundation and Parity?
Web3 Foundation and Parity are very supportive organizations to us. We are implementing 2 grants from Web3 Foundation. We already delivered the first grant and finishing the second grant and going to send it for verification soon. And Parity is also very supportive to us. They chosen us as part of their first batch of 11 members to Substrate Builders program. This is program very helpful and they support us with technical help and webinars and other recommendations. For example, who can we choose for code audit or what is the best strategy to launch your test nets, canary nets and so on.
What problems do you try to solve and how exactly are you planning to solve them?
So among problems that we are trying to solve are several of them that encounter today's social network. First is censorship resistance. You can see by the recent events that many centralized social networks ban or delete unwanted content. So even they can ban current president by that time of United States, or they can be unhappy with how some subreddit groups communicate and what are they trying to achieve, like Wall Street bets. So we're trying to solve this problem by providing a solution that let anyone to launch their own decentralized community where they can gather and discuss what they want and post what they need, and they can launch this on their own site with any customizations they need, so they don't need to ask permission from centralized sites. Another problem is unfair monetization. You can think that on different sites like Substack, Patreon, YouTube, there are already monetization, but these monetization methods are limited to those that are provided by the platforms. Some of them charge commission that varies from 5 to 12% and even 20%, but who wants to pay so much in 2021, why we can have direct monetization without intermediary or middleman. Third problem that we want to solve is networking effect. So there are a lot of different sites like Circle.so or Tribe.so or any other that allows you to launch your community for your niche, for your space. And you can think that this problem is already solved, but actually not, because while you can run your own community on a separate domain with some of customizations, you're still closed in networking effect. So these platforms doesn't share the networking effect with you totally. If they will be unhappy someday with what are you doing, you will be kicked out. Just it's for sure. And you cannot get out your followers and your members out of this platform because the networking effect is closed. The first problem that we're trying to address is algorithm dictatorship. What does it mean? So, like on Twitter and Facebook, there are feed algorithms that decide for you what you should see, what you should read, listen, watch. Obviously, your actions impact these algorithms, and by liking this and that content or sharing something, you train the algorithm to show for you what you need, what they think that you need. But still, these algorithms are designed to make the most profits for their corporations, not for our well-being, not for our health or financial situation. So you can think of it like an algorithm dictatorship, where there is only one algorithm on each platform, and you cannot choose between different options actually. So you can choose only some few settings for this particular algorithm. The first problem that we're addressing is lack of customization. So even thinking about these customizations that are available on Medium and Substack, you still cannot connect anything that you need. You can extend them by using plugins that are external to the platform, but people don't like to install plugins. They want smooth experience. Like if you want to accept, let's say, Bitcoin and Ethereum, you cannot do this on Medium today. You can do this through plugins, but users don't want to install plugins. So about solutions. As I mentioned, we are targeting 5 problems and how we're going to solve them. So our solution lies on concept of customizability, because our protocol is built on Substrate, and Substrate is upgradable framework. It allows us to do anything we need on blockchain. We can have modular structure, and by using different modules on blockchain and on UI, people can create whatever they need for their niche community, for their specific needs. For example, they can do whatever integrations they want, and they can customize in any way. Like you can think about let's say WordPress. So with WordPress you can be very creative, but what is the problem of WordPress is that it lacks shared networking effect, because with WordPress your site is isolated and only users of your site networking effect, and it's small. And in our case, by being built on blockchain, we can share networking effect between communities. So communities can be from one side customizable and have their own plugins and integrations and look and feel and everything, but still they're part of one whole thing, of one huge shared networking effect because of blockchain. And by providing different monetization methods that will be built into our protocol, people such as creators or community leaders or other creative minds, they can create even new monetization methods that will be not provided by default from our platform by using smart contracts, for example. Also, in our case, we can tackle the problem of algorithm dictatorship in this way that people can build, for example, decentralized marketplace of different feed algorithms. So just imagine, in a different situation, you could choose between different feed algorithms. Let's say at work you want to see something that is related to your work, to your duties. At home you want something relaxed, maybe memes, or in some other cases you can think about maybe you want your feed to be reflecting your hobby or your interest, or maybe you don't want to see politics. And you can think that there could not be one algorithm that can feed all your needs, but it's rather could be a marketplace of algorithms where you can choose from. And with this marketplace of algorithms, not only end users will be benefited, but also creators of these algorithms can make money by renting these algorithms through monthly subscription or yearly subscription, or some algorithms could be open sourced and free.
What have you achieved at the moment?
So far we have developed several modules that are custom to Substrate. These modules include such as spaces, posts, follows, likes, dislikes, and reputation, and even history of a space or a post. We also started to work on monetization methods, but I will talk about this later. By this time, half a year ago, in August 2020, we already launched our beta.net, and it works by today with no issues, and we already upgraded it 7 times and no problems so far. Also, we launched a website 1 month later where people can go and create their space and post about anything they want, and other people can follow them, create their personalized feed and have notifications, and also they can discuss as on any common social network. But this is just a start, and this is what we've done so far. Among other things that are not so visible to end user is that our content on Subsocial is stored in IPFS, so this means that and the more replicas we have, the more censorship resistant it is. So we are very interested that people join our network as validators and those who replicate IPFS content. Also, Subsocial features such thing as server-side rendering. And why it's important? Because Google can be a driver of a traffic, part of a traffic, and by this date we have over 3,000 pages indexed by Google search engine from Subsocial. Another few modules that are very interested and important to Subsocial that are implemented in blockchain, yet we still need to add support for them on website are these modules. Moderation, permissions, and roles. We will talk about this a little bit later.
What are your priorities for the current year?
Among the top priorities for this year, I would like to highlight this. Free transactions. So this is very important because people don't want to bother with such things like where and how to get tokens. They don't want to confirm transaction confirmation windows and so on. Another one is to develop a mobile application. Third one is providing built-in monetization out of the box. Fourth is to create niche communities on top of Subsocial. And fifth is obviously its launch of mainnet. But before that, we will need to complete a code audit.
Do you have certain networks in mind that you'd like to start working with?
So as I said before, one of the key features of Subsocial is that it will be possible to launch a niche community. For example, you represent some sport business, or you have community in arts, or you are a lawyer and you are part of your local community of lawyers, or even international. So our first community will be community for Polkadot ecosystem and Kusama ecosystems. This will be the community that will include only spaces that represent Polkadot co-founders, projects from Polkadot. So currently there are several hundred projects in Polkadot ecosystem. Then in this community could write posts on the founders of these projects, Polkadot ambassadors, employee of Parity and Web3 Foundation, and any people that are committing to Polkadot ecosystem. So by going to this specific site that we're going to launch on top of Subsocial, you should expect only things that are related to Polkadot and ecosystem project announcements, to treasury proposals, to validators discussions, to anything that is related to Polkadot ecosystem.
Are there any plans for Polkadot to get some special features on the platform?
So during our second grant from Web3 Foundation, we already started to implement custom features for Kusama. This includes such things as you could create a description for your treasury proposal, much like on Polk assembly, but in a decentralized way. And this means that by default and out of the box, you already will have such functionality like comments and notifications. Another thing that we already implemented is role labels. For example, there are such role labels like treasury proposer and validator and tech committee, and the last one is console. Another thing is that we show on Subsocial, and it's specific to Kusama, is Kusama identities. Also, we are going to support the similar functionality but for Polkadot, and this is just a start. Later on, we are planning to add much more functionalities that are specific to Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems. For example, you could be able to see different categories of spaces. For example, spaces that represent projects from Polkadot ecosystem, and category of validators, so we can go and start a discussion with validator or review their activity or inactivity. And other things that we're going to support is a list of all proposals from Kusama and Polkadot, so you can see the history of proposals and much more. So for example, I can think about such cool functionality like you could see rating of validators and statistics, so it will be much easier to decide which validator you're going to nominate. For this, we are already started to discuss integrations with such features that are developed by Polkastats, and this is just a start.
What monetization method would you like to implement?
So I would like to start with describing a couple of monetization methods that we would like to implement this year. Among the first ones, I would like to highlight such as tips and donations. So anyone could be able to donate to a post they like or even a comment. Another one would be recurring paid subscription. So think about your experience on Patreon or Substack, where you can subscribe on a monthly or quarterly basis to a content creator or writer that you like and want to support. So writers and content creators could be able to create different tiers or levels of subscriptions, and people can subscribe to this and they will be paying on a recurring basis. Another one monetization method would be highlighting of comments and mentions. Imagine that on YouTube there are a lot of videos with thousands of comments, and it's hard to go through this mass of comments and to be seen by video creator or content creator. And by highlighting your comments with some payment, you should be able to notice it by author of that video much easier. And the same about mention. So imagine trying to mention Elon Musk on Twitter or trying to get his response. It's quite hard to do because he has thousands of mentions on Twitter. But if he set up something like a threshold, let's say few $100s, and then only those comments and mentions he will notice because there are payments behind it. So in this way you will be able to reach out to your influencer that maybe you want to get answer even for a few years already, and they're struggling to mention you, and you're struggling to be noticed by them because of overloaded inbox. Another monetization methods that I are also interested in implementing is social tokens or personal tokens. In our case, you can think about them like space tokens. So what is a social tokens? They are tokens that are specific to personal blog or community built on Subsocial, and they will be used, for example, to define membership of that space. So let's say owners of a space could create such a dynamic permission that only holders of, let's say, 10 tokens of this space can be able to write posts or comments in their space. So in this way you will get membership based on current token holders with some threshold. And by adding support to smart contracts, you can even think about much more different monetization methods that even doesn't exist today, because as we mentioned before, Patreon and Substack and YouTube, they are only limited to those methods that founders and owners of those platforms created. But if you remember DeFi success, one of the key components of it is smart contracts. So with smart contracts you can be very, very creative, and community of Subsocial and community of those spaces that are created on Subsocial could show their creativity by creating different monetization methods on smart contracts.
At the Subsocial website mentioned that some marketplaces are going to be implemented. Can you say about these plans?
Yeah, that's right. So Our thinking about this is that by being a social network on top of blockchain, we already have built-in monetization because of built-in native token, and even people can create unique new tokens for their spaces. So this means that by using these tokens, by introducing different smart contracts, we can have marketplace features, right? So we can create something even like Airbnb clone, where people could list their properties and set up fee like per day or per month, how much does it cost to rent your apartment. Or you can think about classifiers like Craigslist, or in other countries there are local classifiers, or even eBay. So what is eBay? eBay actually it's just a site with categories and posts with images, but the main difference from just a news site or catalog is that they have a price and there is button to buy, or there could be an auction. So you can easily create such functionality on smart contracts and then just applying your smart contracts to your community, to your listing. You can get something like eBay or even better or different, and you can run this on your own site and have anything customizable in a way that how you need it for your community and for your business.
Subsocial started articles and videos contests. Can you tell me about it more, and what goals do you want to reach?
Sure, we started this contest because we want to spread the word about Subsocial, and people started to use Subsocial and writing posts on Subsocial, but it's like internal, and people from outside don't know about what is happening inside, and we need to spread the word by publishing different articles on already established platforms like Medium, Reddit, Quora, and even personal blog posts published on your custom blockchains, and even blog posts on your personal blog running on WordPress or I don't know, host or anything. So the idea is that people should explain what is Subsocial, what is its goals, what we're trying to achieve with this, how we're going to do this, why it's interesting to people, and why should people care and check out what we are doing. So this is just a goal to spread the word about what we are doing and get people interested in this. And people can write an article or create a video that is explaining our vision and our goals.
What about permissionless? Do you have forbidden content on Subsocial? How will it be moderated and governed?
Yeah, so this is very interesting and yet hard question, and I'm not sure that I want to answer in the full details about this, but the major thing is that our platform is built on decentralized technology, and we are not storing content in blockchain, but we're storing content in IPFS. And what does it mean? Is that anyone can upload any content to, let's say, their own nodes, and then just use blockchain to link this content with their subscribers, or if they don't even have subscribers, so they will be just published to blockchain like unknown. So I have this kind of content. But it's up to end user sites, and our current site is one of such sites. It's not like final and only one site, and anyone can launch their own site. And even in our case, if we are not happy with some content that is illegal, and we not want to show actually illegal content because we need a healthy community and everything, but still people can launch their own site and manage what kind of content they want to see there. So for example, anyone could launch a site that shows something, I don't know, that is not very good to another country, to people from other part of the world, but still it could be okay for the country they are living in. So why not to allow this, and it will be totally possible with our solution. So the short answer is that we are not looking into the illegal content on our platform, but technically it should be possible to do whatever people need, because you cannot have some rules that are very, very same across all the countries. Any country has their own rules. So with Facebook, for example, it's impossible to have different rules per country, because if something is wrong in one country, The easiest solution for Facebook is to don't allow this content at all, because they don't want to deal with these problems. But in our case, people could launch sub-networks for their specific location, such as a city or country or whatever. And it's up to them to decide what is legal, what is not.
Thank you for your answers, Alex. I wish you and Subsocial all the best. PromoTeam also has a Subsocial account, and please subscribe to us here too. It was Feature. Bye bye.